Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Digital Discovery Show. I am not in my office for the first time in a very long time, and even better, I'm not even in Melbourne. Not even better. I shouldn't say that. I'm in Mackay. I'm in Mackay with my wonderful colleague and friend now. After spending 24 hours in Mackay, I am thrilled to bring to you and introduce our world of the Digital Discovery Show that's brought to you by Tourism Tribe and Navii Digital. Chrissy Evangelou, I should know that, should roll off the tongue. Chrissy Evangelou from Mackay Tourism. Welcome, Chrissy.
Thank you, Despina.
Thank you for agreeing to do this with me. It's a real pleasure. I knew I as soon as I spoke with Chrissy and we worked together to bring a training here today to about 30 operators in and around Mackay. We talked all about packaging for profit and using collaboration for growth, which has been fantastic. Thank you for engaging Tourism Tribe and for getting me on a plane, which was very exciting. So tell us, Chrissy, tell us a little bit about yourself and where we're at and this part of the world, where we actually are at the moment.
So we're in the tropics of Queensland. We're in Mackay, North Queensland, Central to North Queensland, depending on who you speak to. And we're on the coast. If you don't know that, people often think of us as a mining town. However, we think of us much more than that. The mining's over the hill. We've got beautiful nature experiences here. We've got a huge sporting community. There's a lot of wonderful sportsmen who have come out of, and women who have come out of Mackay. It's a really special place. Beautiful beaches. Huge tides, but we don't sort of have the mud flats of Cairns. We just have these huge tides, and like the river. We've got one of the only blue rivers.
We've
only got one of the only blue rivers in Australia, and it's just superb, the Pioneer River. So we've got a lot of potential here, and that's why we were doing what we were doing today, working with our operators to see what we can do to make Mackay even better.
Oh, and it was magic. Today was just magic.
It was awesome.
We had such a group, and credit to you for recognising, because a lot of what came out of the businesses that we were, this is so timely. How do you recognise, how do you scope out what type of training you'll put out? Because you really nailed who was in the room and the topic.
Yeah, I think you get to a certain age and you've had a certain amount of experience. I've owned small businesses, been in small businesses, worked for small businesses. I've lived in Mackay twice, lived on the Gold Coast. So I've sort of always had an interest in the tourism industry as well. I just thought we were just right for the packaging. And after COVID, when COVID hit, it was really interesting. I remember talking to a motel operator that is in a street of a whole heap of motels, and we were ringing everybody, making sure they're okay. And they actually said to me, "Am I the only one this is happening to, with all those bookings going, get all those cancellations?" And I thought, oh my God, you're so isolated. So I've been keeping a really good eye on what's been happening with our operators since then. And, some of them have bounced back, some of them have struggled, but I think they just needed to be able to have more than just accommodation. They needed to be able to create some packages. So, they're attracting more people to Mackay. We've got more people here staying longer. And I don't know, I think sometimes it's just instinct, when you just feel it inside and But I really do talk to a lot of people and talk to our operators as well to see what they're after. Yeah.
And you really see there's a lot of investment in the region. There's a lot of operators that have come from interstate and buying businesses and starting a fresh start in Mackay, which is very encouraging. New managers as well. Yeah. What have been some of the initiatives over this period that you've either seen new innovations from businesses, but also for yourself? I mean, you recognised early on, we've talked about that isolation and helping operators through that.
I think, well, early on, as soon as COVID hit, well, you know, it was devastation across the board. And I think Mackay Tourism really did a good thing. We just basically said, let's just drop everything. Let's ring every single operator. That we did. We actually did that 3 times. So that was a lot of phone calls. My average phone call, I worked out, was about 35 minutes long. So, you know, that was a lot of phone calls that we made. And we just recognised early that they needed help early. And for some of them, they needed help because they had to close their business. So we sort of had a business recovery series, and everything I do, I always follow with some mentoring or coaching. And events, we didn't want to lose our events, so started events recovery series and just sort of got them all some help early on. And I remember I was putting on two webinars a week for 4 weeks for events, and everyone said that nobody's going to watch that because it's, you know, that's too many in a row. And I went, I run events. I need that help. I need that information now. So we got in really early, gave people information, gave people coaching to help them. You know, some of our businesses closed, and we actually gave them help to, you know, like with lawyers and things like that.
Yes, even legal assistance and contractual obligations.
All that sort of thing that they just needed help with. Yeah.
Oh, it was wonderful. One, I've had a great experience within your community, and just valuing human connection. We've been able to use digital, but the power of getting in the room, the level of ideas and that have come out of today has been very, very special. In the spirit of collaboration, how important has that been in your career even, and in your experience with businesses? And also, I mean, speaking of events, you've put on some real signature events that are coming back to the region. And that's what's really highlighted too, of how a community can really piggyback and leverage their marketing on and offline through, now that events are coming back, and being fingers on the pulse on what is happening on your regional calendar. How important has that been?
Well, the word collaboration, I've just found collaboration just is everything. You know, that building relationships, collaborating. If you don't do it, you sort of don't get anywhere. You know, it's everything from having an event and needing sponsorship or just help with it, whether it be your community, getting volunteers, all that sort of thing. And what we saw here today was we had indoor go-karting, we had a platter business, we had the Serena Sugar Shed, we had all these different businesses, and just sort of putting a few ideas out there, and then they're going, and just working together. It was beautiful. But I think the good thing is, so this is sort of like a good mixture of face-to-face.
Yes.
So we give them that session. However, following on from this, we need to be able to still connect with you and make sure all this follows through. So thank God for digital.
Yes. Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
We'll be able to do that online with our small groups.
Yes, and extend these, because we talked a lot about the action item afterwards, and it was such a good eclectic group. We had accommodation, we had experiences, adventure operators, ground and sea. We did also have an event, like we had an operator that is holding an event coming up, and that's something that for anyone that's listening is to really use. It doesn't always have to be you that's holding the event, but having a regional event in your area, use that to promote it on your own Facebook pages, on your website, and piggyback and really leverage from that. which was wonderful as well.
And I think we found some people today that they sort of hadn't considered events as a form of someone that they could collaborate with. And I run an event called Mackay Marina Run, in case you're coming up here on the 6th of June.
I love it.
Lovely event, beautiful time of year, freezing in Melbourne, beautiful here. And they said, I'm not getting bookings on a Monday, Tuesday. And I went, well, people are coming to my event from Friday, possibly through till Sunday. Why not give me some sort of offer? And like we were talking about, discounting, I don't believe in discounting. It's something that can benefit them. They might be one of those people that would normally go to Hawaii or Bali or wherever and do that 5-7 day trip. They might like to do that in Mackay. Give me an offer. I'll pop it on my website. Let's see how it goes. You don't lose anything.
You don't lose anything, and all translate, even looking for content ideas. Alta, she popped up it was a center page spread of all of the 12-month calendars, and she said this is going to go on my website. So even something like to spark the idea that you can look at the calendars in the destination brochure, but suddenly here's a whole heap of content that we can pop onto our website, translate it onto your Facebook event pages, use that as part of your content. It's also part of the spirit of collaboration, isn't it? We looked at all those.
And these are small operators, so creating content is sometimes, time consuming. Grab it from there, use what other people are doing. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Tuck yourself in there somewhere.
Absolutely. And be the other source of information. And
then you make friends.
Absolutely. Yes, that's right. And speaking of that, now, how you've seen what success looks like for a tourism business in your experience. Tell me about what are some of the traits of operators that work really well and how they work well with their regional tourism organisation, because I think there's a lot of assumption that I'm giving over whatever the model is. Can you talk to us about what are some of the traits in successful businesses in how they approach working within a destination environment? And for those of you that might be joining us that don't work in tourism, but you also, I think everybody has an industry association.
Chamber of Commerce.
Or a Chamber of Commerce, exactly.
It's a perfect example.
A perfect example. What would be, in just your career today, what have been some standout attributes in really leveraging those relationships?
I'm going to use your example that you used today because I use it all the time. Yeah. If you've got a gym membership. I used to be sales and marketing at a gym for nearly 10 years. If you've got a gym membership and use it regularly, you get to know the people at the gym. They start to look after you. You go regularly, you get healthy, and it's good for your soul. So this is exactly the same with your tourism membership, your Chamber of Commerce membership, whatever it was. Make sure they know who you are, because honestly, they're usually just a small team. So if you can make yourself known, whether it be turning up at the networking events or their industry and development events, popping in and just saying hi, inviting them for a coffee.
Yes.
So that you actually get to know those members, and they do that not with just the tourism industry. I see them pop up at Chamber of Commerce events. I see them pop up at a launch of something. So they make the time to, I suppose, connect with their community, to collaborate with other people. So the ones that I see that are really done well do all those things well, and they also seem to use their time well. So they're able to actually make those things, whereas other people say to me, I'm too busy, I can't come. But they must be very good at time management because they're able to be at those things that, that in a way is helping create their success.
It's funny. I mean, you even managed to get 2 media. That's never happened before. Just to give you guys a heads up. So Chrissy and the team organised Channel 7 to come here today. They organised a local paper to come here today. It's also just thinking of the next level. And I got asked a question: what do you see opportunity here in Mackay? And I said, there's been business owners here that have come to a workshop, and this is a testament to what is the difference that makes a difference, that they've come here still with the hunger and the thirst to learn on how they can improve, and also sharing with each other, what they've learned and contributing to the group, which was really, really great to see. So I see a lot of green. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I think this is the whole, what we did today, like packaging and bundling of products to sort of diversify, I suppose, their business. It's not a new thing, we've all heard it. However, I think it's something that people have often thought, oh, it's for somebody else.
Yes.
And we broke it right down so that people realised. So all these businesses realise, whether they're a bigger business or a smaller business, that it's actually for everybody, and that they can all be a part of it. So I think that was really good, because sometimes you have to be very convincing sometimes to get people to things like this, because I heard more than once, oh, packaging. I've been to one of those before. It was really boring. And I went, well, I met Despina over the phone. I don't think it's going to be boring for you. That's why I got you to do the video. I asked, whenever I have an event, I always ask the presenter to do a video for me. And I think only once I haven't used it because it just sounded so boring, and I thought, oh, that's not going to go so well.
Yeah.
They were much better in person. And I just had to make that call.
Yeah.
But, that was the power of using like digital to have you here in person.
Yes.
So, and I always come back to using both those things, because I think it's really, really important.
Really important. Yeah. And look, even the extension. So what we did today, we did the training in the morning, but in the afternoon, and we do this in our business, we do a lot of group live coaching sessions.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's kind of like businesses come to a group session with their challenges or what they'd like to focus on, and we nut it out. And that's what this was like a real life in-person group coaching session, where we literally sat around the table, we took turns in focusing, and I really enjoyed that. And magic happened. I mean, we've got some packages that are going to be launched in November as a result of that. So it was really great to give that space. I think you nailed that one. We just said, look, it's good, I think, in business as well as like trialing something new, where you said, I just want to see where it goes. Yeah. Leave the space in the afternoon. Let's make ourselves available and see. And it was just, it gave creative freedom. That's what that did.
Yeah.
It just gave some creative freedom, which is required.
I thought so. I thought, everybody's not going to be able to have the ability to be able to stay all day. If they can come for half a day out of their business, that is unreal. However, I heard some of them talking, and even though other people had left, they were actually bringing up that other business. So we need to also contact blah, blah, because it's important that they're in that. And I think that's where those online group sessions that we're going to have as a follow-up, I just don't think, anybody out there who organises events, I just don't think that anymore you can just hold a workshop.
Yes.
Everything I do now is I hold the workshop, I organise some coaching after, that might be one-on-one or small group, and then make sure that there's a follow-up after that to make sure there's an outcome.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really don't like putting anything on anymore unless I can go 1, 2, 3.
Love it. It's almost like hybrid events, aren't they? Like you've got a little bit of everything. And look, something that we extended what partnership and collaboration looks like, and even looked at the framework of social media to say, well, pinging another business is a form of collaboration. Mentioning another business, using each other as influencers in our destination An influencer is not just the Instagrammer. A business
1.5 million followers.
a business that has worked hard to build a community. We have to also look at each other as influencers and support each other. So it was looking at all different, it's not one size fits all.
So an example today, the lovely Harrop Park Country Club, they donated the venue for us, and it's just a classy venue. And then they offered to be the accommodation sponsor. So first thing I did this morning was took a photo, make sure I tagged them both in it, so that they realise that we appreciate their help as well.
It was, and even in that, it's practicing what you're teaching, and what, even putting on an event in the spirit of collaboration. It was really well put together, and the produce, you had a local produce come into she's very good.
I have worked for the Greater Whitsunday Food Network, and at their farmers market, I used to just go there from 5:30 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. before I started my real job. I just love being out with my farmers. But so I'm always pushing that local produce, and because I had the venue and the accommodation sponsors, then I had that little bit of extra money, and I went, do you know what? I'll ask the chef if we can have some local produce in the menu, just because it's a little bit more expensive especially at this time of year. It's the weather's hot and wet, so there's only certain things available, and they just nailed it. How good was the food?
The food was next level, and I said, I said I can just imagine a wedding at this place. It would be. It was beautiful.
We had motels and clubs and that here who have kitchens, who have restaurants and that sort of thing. So it was really important that they saw that and they go, oh, okay, they've taken this next level. We're going to have to lift the bar at our place.
Amazing. Look, you've also been handpicked as a mentor from QT.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience and how you're imparting knowledge onto young up-and-comers and tourism leaders.
Yeah, I was actually really quite chuffed about that. So I'll be looking after a 30-something-year-old who's got quite a big job, and we haven't actually started the full-on mentoring yet, but we did go to an induction, and I got to meet her and just asked her a couple of questions, just general questions to find out about her. Then said, what would you like to get out of this? And as soon as she said to me, well, it's sort of having a bit of trouble with working with the council and working with this and that, and I went, okay, we've got this. I sort of know why they've put us together.
All about relationships. All about relationships.
So I'll be able to help her.
Love it. Well, thank you for doing this. Thank you for your time. Thank you for engaging Tourism Tribe. And myself personally, thank you. It's been such a pleasure and a delight. And congratulations on doing such an incredible job, Chrissy.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you. I think we'll know each other for the rest of our lives.
Absolutely. There's no turning back. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and all the best to you and your collaborative endeavours. And see you next week for another great episode of the Digital Discovery Show. Bye for now.